Hello there and welcome to the Tech Spot, where we sniff out the groundbreaking new technologies disrupting traditional sectors. I'm Uche Okoronkwo, and this week it's all about e-logistics. Now, it's no surprise that supply chains and logistics networks are just begging for disruption, especially after COVID-19 exposed just how stretched systems were by delays, poor infrastructure, and of course a very long list of other inefficiencies. Well, Kobo 360 is a digital platform that is transforming the speed, the cost and security of moving cargo around Africa by borrowing Uber's concept of connecting driver and customer and simply linking truck drivers to cargo owners. Now, the app seems pretty easy for anyone to access. It is available on both Google and Apple app stores. And TechSport is heading to the ground to track just how this app is changing the game. We're going to Kenya's coastal city of Mombasa, home of the biggest port in East Africa, where Keith is looking to send these bags of imported fertilizer to the Ugandan border. Now, typically, he will be making calls seeking out truck drivers, or he'll be visiting a truck park to negotiate the terms. Using Kobo 360's app, he only has to log in online, key in his cargo and location details, and request a specific vehicle, setting his cargo storage and transport times. Meanwhile, in Nairobi, his request is received in real time at the company's service center.
Can be able to see every information now.
Where Dennis matches up Keith with a truck owner and driver. He sets a price based on market rates and assigns the trip within minutes. Back in Mombasa, the request pops up on truck driver David's phone. He accepts the order on the app and heads to the loading depot, where he meets Kobo 360's ground officers, Muhammad and T. Within hours, we watch as David and Muhammad use the information on the app to coordinate the loading of the cargo and the trip details. And then David, fully loaded, starts the trip and is off to the Ugandan border.
We facilitate the transport, yeah? The cargo owners do not facilitate transport. We as Kobo facilitate, yeah? We pay the transporters on time to move the cargo for our clients.
It seems like a pretty straightforward process. But before e-logistics apps like Kobo 360, each step involved much more legwork, time, money, and a whole lot of grief. Typically, truck owners and drivers have to book, schedule and plan trips on their own, which usually meant delays in payments, hold-ups on their routes and empty runs, where trucks have no cargo on their return trip. That meant extra costs, which raises prices for end users, and sometimes idling around waiting for a trip.
The app has helped us a lot. We now deliver our loads faster, and because they track our trips, even if a cargo owner is unreachable, we can communicate with K360 directly to complete the trip efficiently.
The company charges drivers between 5 to 10% of their fee and also facilitates their routes, provides truck maintenance services, as well as rescue and safety support. David can also use the app to book another cargo on his return trip. Meanwhile, cargo owner Keith can monitor the progress of his order in real time.
When you work with a platform like Kobo 360, who are working with a big pool of transporters, then they're able to manage them well, using their own tracking systems to make sure when the truck is available to load, it takes around 2 to 3 transit days to arrive at our regional warehouses and offload.
And it's all managed here at Kobo 360's Nairobi Service Center, where Dennis and his team use portable trackers or the app to track the movement of the cargo.
We are able to do flagging of trip, whereby if a trip has a mechanical problem or there's an issue along the road, you're able to flag a trip also on this control center.
So ideally, what we're ensuring to our customers is that all the trucks that are in our platform are road compliant and they're fit for transportation. So that in case of anything, we have done the verification and the truck is able to now do the trips with us.
Much like Uber, apps like Kobo 360 are literally changing the way the world moves. By patching up the holes in Africa's fragmented supply chains and placing all players under one umbrella, the movement of goods has become faster and cheaper. Factoring in spillover effects on specific sectors and communities, it may just be the catalyst that catapults trade on the continent. Kobo 360 isn't the only e-logistics startup that is offering revolutionary solutions to the decade-long challenge of moving goods around in Africa. Apps like Trucker and Lorry Systems are also getting in on the e-logistics pie. Now, of course, the space is definitely gearing up for further competition, and that's because the industry is attracting some major mullah. And by that I mean investor interest.
Did you know logistics startups had a record-breaking year in 2019? According to the IFC, annual funding to the sector has jumped 6,746% since 2016. That sounds like a lot. The IFC also says e-logistics is the most promising area for immediate investment opportunities that involve AI applications in emerging markets. And here's why. The numbers speak for themselves. E-logistics firms like Kobo 360 are estimated to have saved customers about 7.1% on logistics and helped drivers earn 27% more money.
With 290 active clients such as Unilever and Procter & Gamble, as well as growing networks in the north, east and west of Africa, and almost 50 trips on a daily basis, it is no surprise that Kobo 360 has raised almost $40 million in investment. They plan to enter new markets like Rwanda, Tanzania and Turkey this year. But there's also that pesky reality that mobile internet adoption still remains pretty low in sub-Saharan Africa. In light of this, we asked one of Kobo 360's founders how they managed to expand so fast into 6 African countries in just 3 years.
Localizing to our operations and our technologies to the markets that we enter into is one of our key drivers to success. And we always use a multi-pronged approach to building our solution. We know that smartphone penetration may be an issue, internet penetration may be an issue. So we look at tracking devices. We look at satellite tracking devices that we input on the truck or we affix to the trucks to monitor delivery. We have, on a more traditional sense, we have a call center activity that is monitoring the drivers when they cell reception, and we ensure that we have stops along the expressway to monitor these real-time activities. So what we do is that we assess on a basis what are the key challenges, what are the key pain points around the technology that would drive logistics forward for the future. And we started to build what we call a global logistics operating system, sort of a modular application that supports the ecosystem around the value chain of logistics, straight from placing a request to accepting a request to financing logistics to trip delivery to monitoring to tracking to insurance to transaction confirmation and things around port activities. So again, we go into these markets, we assess what the pain points, we draw inferences and we sort of create parallels between all the markets that we operate, and we start to build on that to ensure that our solution is robust enough to support any market we enter into, and not just supporting them, but actually adding value to them, whether it's by reducing the cost of logistics, improving your turnaround time, improving your real-time monitoring activities, or your incident recovery solutions.
It is important to note that e-logistics apps are flourishing at a time when intra-regional trade in Africa is expected to blow up. And I'm referring to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area that just kicked off at the top of this year. take a moment and ponder on the implications of the free movement of goods and people across Africa on this new technology.